called Mrs. Dingell. I'm a Debbie. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
So Mark and Tad, thank you so much for being here. And I want to thank Adam and Yusuf, my colleagues in the state legislature, who are really fighting every single day for the environment, to make sure our water is clean, the air we breathe is clean, that we are preserving our natural resources. So Mark and Tad asked me if I would talk about the importance of this lab after I toured it. And first of all, I want to say to you, it's really not the first time I've been here. It's the first time I've been here as Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. But Bob King is here, and Bob, who's former president of the UAW, let's hear it for Bob. And I have worked with Bob King for years in the auto industry to make sure we have a healthy, thriving auto industry, and at the same time are building more fuel-efficient vehicles, cleaning up the air, and building better vehicles than ever before. And so I want to thank, how many here are employees here at this lab? Let's hear it for the employees here. I thank all the employees of AFGE Local 3907 who are the hardworking men and women here. And all I saw today just confirmed for me what I know is happening here every single day and how important the work is. And I want to make it really clear that the auto industry and the UAW totally agree that the work that, and I just saw Ian, who's head of the Labor Council here too, but they totally agree how important that the work is here. To you, to the employees, the working men and women here, the work you do here every single day keeps our air clean to breathe and keeps our nation on the cutting edge. And we have to make sure we stay on the cutting edge. You are our true public servants, and your work here has got to be protected. So we're all here to protect your work. So why are we worried? Because the work here is so important. Because President Trump is proposing to cut EPA's budget by $2.6 billion, a 31% decrease. This is the largest percentage cut of any agency in the president's budget, and probably the one that impacts each of us more in some ways than any others. And it doesn't stop there. We learned through a leaked budget document that President Trump is also proposing drastic cuts to EPA's fuel economy and vehicle emission programs, which could result in the closure of this lab behind us. As I say, I just toured it. It's absolutely unacceptable for them to be talking about closing one of the nation's jewels. We need to understand what we have here in Ann Arbor among us. It is the world's premier, not America's, the world's premier environmental compliance and transportation research center. This facility does critical work every single day to reduce vehicle emissions and ensure that the United States remains at the forefront of innovation in this critical field. And that's critical to our staying competitive and creating jobs in this country.
There it is. There it is.
The top-notch engineers and scientists who, by the way, believe that science should rule, let's use the real data, oversee the world's most successful vehicle pollution control program. They told me in there it was the gold standard. I say, because platinum's now more valuable than gold, the platinum standard, which countries around the world seek to emulate. I was meeting with the head of this lab, and he talked about being asked to go to Europe and to testify. And Europe always likes to pretend it's better than we are, and especially on the environment. And after he finished testifying, he said, America is doing this so much better than anybody in the world. Mm-hmm. We know that. We've got to tell our story more. We do have to tell our stories more. The standards that have evolved over time here have sparked major technological innovation. And today our cars are 99% cleaner, 99% cleaner than they were in 1970. They were showing me, one of the things I saw in the lab was how they capture what escapes from a vehicle when it's just standing still. Well, let me tell you, I didn't need to see this lab to know that because of the work that's here, a vehicle going down the highway right now is cleaner than a vehicle that was sitting in a driveway in 1970 because of the kind of work that's done. And think about that and the impact of the air we breathe and the air that our children breathe. The smart regulations designed here have led to historical environmental innovations such as the catalytic converters, unleaded gasoline, and the use of computers on vehicles. These innovations have not only reduced pollution, but they've made the cars higher quality and more reliable and durable. And the innovation has led to job creation throughout Southeast Michigan and the country. We are going to lead the world in making sure we keep jobs here in America. And this is the key right behind us. It's one of the keys. My king knew that. That's why he fought for it so hard for so many years. Not only that, but the research, the testing, the analysis, and the technological studies conducted here provide critical background for establishing and monitoring both CAFE and emission standards. Policymakers like me depend on this work, as do consumers who are being protected by these environmental regulations. You know, Fuel Cafe is not a bad thing. Even the autos all agreed together. Bob King was at the table when they agreed to an emission standard by 2025. And everybody was at the table. They want this certainty. They know it's what consumers want. But you know what? It would all be eliminated if EPA stopped their critical work in this area. And that's why this facility is so important and why we all have to tell the story. We can't afford to lose those jobs, but we also can't afford to eliminate the government's work on creating more fuel-efficient vehicles and lowering overall emissions. We have to keep working at it every single day. So it's why I sent a letter last month to protect it. It's why we're all here today to make sure America knows the jewel that's here. This is a national treasure in Ann Arbor, and we will not let them destroy it. So here's the good news. The president's budget is simply a proposal. And Congress has the final say in all spending matters. So I need all of you. You've got friends all over this state and all over the country. And we need to make sure that they know how important the work is. How we all want to make sure we keep protecting the air that we are breathing. That we want to see cars continue to be cleaner. And that every consumer in America wants a more fuel-efficient vehicle. This tour this afternoon just confirmed to me the importance of all the work that's being done. We really, the scientists, the engineers, everybody at this facility that's doing such important work, we thank you from the bottom of our heart. We know what you are doing for us and for America. So united, we have to be united. When we work together, we can make our voices heard. So let's commit today to make our voices heard. To protect this land. To protect the air we breathe, the water we drink, the water in our Great Lakes, 20% of the fresh water in the world. Let's make sure this lab remains a national treasure, and let's work together to keep America clean and beautiful. Thank you very much.